We are streaming now.
You probably can't see it yet. Going to live video.
Connect. You gotta do
Oh, there we go. YouTube is
up.
starting.
And that should be coming up right away too.
I think we got about 9 seconds lag there. YouTube's live.
Okay. So
And
we are live.
YouTube is live. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
All none of you.
All none of us. Well, there'd be people come on right away. Oh, I don't need. Actually, I do need
No,
that.
hi, Derek. Hi, Ron. Hi, Daniel.
Hey,
guys.
there's Derek. There's Ron. I can see Derek and Ron. Hey, guys. There's Daniel Wright. Good afternoon, sir. You guys hear me? Look at all this fancy stuff. Look what we're doing today. Talking about this today.
Been missing too many EPS live since Murph. I miss Murph.
Ron, we are going to be at Murph next year for sure. We already got an invite, so we're going to go to Murph next year. The Midwest. We're not going to go to the Eastern or ERF. I guess that Eastern Rep Rap Festival or East Coast Rep Rap ERF and Murph. We're not going to
Try
ERF.
and say that like 60 times.
Hey, there's Don, the German printing nerd. Mike Whaley, how are you?
No,
Sexy
no.
maker stuff. Sexy maker stuff. Yep, we're going to be talking some bit about what we got going on over here. And yeah, we are going to be talking about what's hanging over everybody's head right now. The big topic of discussion on YouTube
Bum, bum, bum.
and Facebook. And I've been asked over the last day or two where I stand. So
Brian Baker.
Brian Baker's live.
Jerry.
Jerry Projects. Hey guys. How's the D9 doing? I'm going to talk about that as well. So, sexy cyborg gone bye-bye. What? Sexy cyborg gone bye-bye? Wow.
Sexy cyborg gone bye-bye. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I was sad when my sexy cyborg went bye-bye.
We're going to talk about that in a sec because he might be referring to Naomi Wu. And we'll, hey, Rich, that's from Magic 3D Printing. Hello, Magic. All right, so in just a minute or two, we'll run that intro. Are you got everything up? Yeah, you can see everything over there, okay?
Yeah, we're good to go.
All right. Let's run that intro.
Run that intro.
Hey, welcome to Coffee with Rich. Of course, my name's Richard Cleveland. I'm with you here each and every week, 3 times a week, as a matter of fact, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And today, we're going to have a frank discussion. Frank's over there,
But Richard's going to discuss it.
but I'm going to discuss it. So, first and foremost, let's say hi to some people that we missed. Ken Sturrock, hello, sir. And we're going to talk about some stuff today, but you see all these tools in front of me, and a roll of filament, and a spool holder, and all kinds of stuff right around our subscribe sign. By the way, if you're not subscribed to the show, and you haven't hit that bell notification button, now's the time to do it, because we are 101 people away from reaching 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube in around 6 months, I guess. We started in October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, 7 months. Yeah, 7 months. So in 7 months, we've hit our goal, which is awesome. I love that. So this stuff in front of me is our big prize giveaway for when we hit 1,000 subscribers. This is a complete, well, somewhat complete tool set. It includes some sockets from Fuller, some Stanley metric and Imperial versions of Allen keys. We've got a beautiful iFixit kit here, 64-bit driver kit. We've got a spatula, we've got some filament, we got a spool holder, some tweezers, ceramic screwdriver, some snips, everything you need to get started with your tools in 3D printing. So when we reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to put all those names, like I always do, into a great big virtual cyber hat, and we'll draw a name, and somebody's going to win all of this stuff. So I hope you guys like it. So if you know somebody that hasn't subscribed to our channel yet, get them on there so we can get to that 1,000. Hello, Sergio, and I see there's Franco Descala. Hello, sir.
Telly had a comment about today's topic on Facebook. Telly?
Hey, Telly, how are you? I don't see Telly's name here yet, but...
the CR10S is now open source. Michael Gilligrad has it on his GitHub. I have posted it.
And I'm going to talk about that right now, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that right now. I'm going to minimize my chat window here so I can get into talking a little bit about what I want to say here. We've had, over the last few days, a lot of discussion. Online, there's been a movement in the GPL. And what GPL stands for, if you're not familiar with it, is General Practice Licensing. Or general product licensing is what it is, general product licensing. And it has come to the attention of many people in the development part of our community that certain companies are not sharing the Marlin firmware to which they've made changes to for their specific products. Now, I've been asked where I stand on this, and I'm going to come out right now in all transparency and say this. My support is to spool3d.ca. And the reason that my support is there, and that's why I'm wearing my Spool 3D Canada shirt today, is because they are my sponsor. And as my sponsor, I have to promote what they sell. So I do have to support the sale and information behind products like Creality, Wanhao, Anycubic, and the list goes on for what we sell here at Spool 3D. So while I support what people are doing in the community, and I support their right to do that, I can't wave that banner because I have to stay true to Spool 3D. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Now, Telly Montelli, who is a member of our group, both here on Facebook and on YouTube, posted today that one of the developers of Marlin firmware has released source code for many different printers that are out there and many that are coming out. Because companies like Creality, and I'm going to talk about their press release in just a few minutes, but I want to really bring this to the forefront. Telly has given us a link, and he posted it on the Creality group site as well. Free Marlin firmware for the JG Aurora A3, the JG Aurora A3S, which is coming soon in brackets. We've got the A5 from JG Aurora, Creality CR10S, and there's different branches for all of those. So if you want the source code that was developed by one of the founders of Marlin and developers of Marlin, then you want to go to GitHub. We're going to put a link in the comments today so that you guys can go there and get source code that you're able to change. Now, have companies violated the GPL? In reality, yes, they have. So, what do we do about it as a community? For the most part, I'm going to say what we're doing now is probably the best course of action, but at the same time, you don't want to cut off your nose to spite your face. If you've developed products like some of our friends like Timothy Hoogland, for instance, who, and I respect him immensely, let me say this, who is leading this charge to GPL, and I get it, I totally get it, or the violation of the GPL. What the GPL states basically is that if you are using Marlin firmware, that has to be made open source for whatever product you are putting it on and selling. So Creality with the CR10 and their entire line, the Ender and the whole 9 yards. I believe ANET was in that list of groups. There is a website that you can go to if you have not received the source code, and we'll be posting that later on down in the comments below as well, where you can go, and it's all about GPL violators, people who have violated the terms of agreement to the GPL, okay? But in the meantime, do we cut off our nose to spite our face? Do we stop developing the products that we've developed for things like the CR10, the Creality CR10S? I don't think so, because we're building, as a community, we are building a strong backbone by offering things like the Easy ABL. And I want to use that as an example because I'm working on something with Timothy right now that is going to help the end user install the Easy ABL in their system. Something that Timothy and I have been talking about, and we're going to start production on that really soon. Now, as far as my master class or my master DVD on the Creality CR10S, that is going to be delayed. I will delay that to show my support for what's happening in the community right now. Will I eventually go ahead with that? Probably at some time later in the future I will. Am I going to stop talking about Creality? I can't, because Spool 3D sells the product, so I can't stop talking about it. Do I stop talking about, Wanhao? And for those who don't know, Wanhao does release hex files. That's not the source code or editable source code, but there has been made available at times to certain people the source code for different printers from Wanhao. Just so you guys are aware, I know this to be fact because it came right from the horse's mouth, and it came right from Derek, who owns Spool 3D. He's requested it, and it has been made available to him. Because Spool 3D is a authorized service center for Creality, we don't have the source code. What Creality has basically said is that they license the source code from somebody else who has designed or has enhanced the Marlin firmware to fit their printer. So they have to pay a licensing fee to whoever did the development on it. Is that legal? I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell you if it's legal or it isn't. And I won't even speculate to whether that's legal or not. We have a lot of armchair lawyers online that will jump on board for this. And I know you guys are probably just cringing right now at what I'm saying, but you have to understand at the end of the day, who do I have to be true to? Am I dedicated to Creality? No. Am I dedicated to Wanhao? No. Am I dedicated to Anycubic? The answer to that is no. Am I dedicated to Marlin? Yes, because I use it and I also program in it. I use it to make changes to other printers. So I am dedicated to them and I will support them. But at the end of the day, my first support has to go to my sponsor, which is Spool 3D Canada. I hope you guys understand that. Creality, like I said, Creality basically said that they license the software from somebody else, so they don't even have the source code. Which, is that true? I have to take them at face value. I can't take them at value, or I can't say that they're lying or they're being misleading. They could very well be, but I can't make that determination because I don't work for that company. So I'm going to have a quick look at what you guys are saying here. Mike Whaley, I'd love to win that. We are sending this wherever in the world, Mike Wally. So that's where we are. Magic 3D Printing, thank you for your understanding. German Printing Nerd says he has a direct connection to Wanhao and all codes and hex files. So there we go there. So that's great. Okay, because they're not all coming up here for whatever reason. I'm only getting the feed from YouTube. I'm not getting.
Franco says, can you send us the link link, and we were talking about the links for all that stuff, to which we replied, well, they'll be at the comments after the show, and then he asked if it will have the power resume, so...
Okay, that I do not know.
And then he goes on later to ask more questions.
I do not know if that is going to be in there. I have to open up the source code and have a look at it. The cost to ship, that is nuts, Ron says. It's not bad to ship.
Sorry,
Let's get back to some of those questions I can't see here.
Franco, again, he says, I wanted changes done on my CR10S4. All I did is contact Creality, requested them to fix the source code, and they sent him the hex file, and they did it without any questions asked.
Okay.
They're obviously...
So they're obviously trying to play ball with their consumers, which is good. And if that is the case, then great. All the power to them. And I think... What's Mike Turner asking?
And then he says, then, just in direct relation to that, my question as an end user is that only want to print stuff on the printers. How does this affect us?
As somebody who is a printer and not a developer, or somebody who plays with Marlin, it doesn't really affect you at all. And this is why I scratch my head a little bit about, you know, how we, as some people, how they jump on board, and I understand the protests and I understand what they're doing, but it doesn't affect the end user at all. If you have an issue with your product, you're either going to contact the place you bought it from, or you're going to contact the place that it was made by. And in a lot of cases, they will help you through whatever issue you have. I know here at Spool 3D, even though my job is this, I bring you guys the show 3 times a week, I do answer questions in the store all the time. And when I go to the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo, I'm going to be there answering your questions again. German Printing Nerd just says, for those guys on Facebook, should come to YouTube. That's great. But, you know, I'm going to pass the question off to you guys. What do you think? Do you think the source code should be made available to everybody who asks for it? Should retailers maybe perhaps have the ability to have the source code available to them? So the question is off to you guys. Put your comments down below. Let me know what you think about that, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube or on Twitch or Periscope, to which we are now streaming to as well. You know, let us know what you think. I mean, over the past couple of days, since this has cropped up, my email, my personal email, richard@thefirstlayer.com, has exploded. And the chat window in Facebook has exploded. Because, as you guys know, for anybody that's on Facebook, I friend a lot of you guys that are in our community, because I want to know what you guys think and I want to know the problems. Because if I don't know what's going on with you guys, how can I get the best information for you, right? So that's pretty much where I'm at with that. So I'm gonna get off that topic. If you want to get the not the Creality branded, but Creality's version of Marlin, which was done, it's over on the GitHub. Somebody's going to post a link for it, I'm sure. The source code should be made free, Ron M. And I agree, it should be made, because it's made from an open source platform. So it should be made free. But something that a lot of you guys don't understand, and it was tough for me to understand too, and if you do understand this, I'm not insulting you in any way, shape, or form. Please be aware of that. Is everybody has a different view of what open source is. Be aware of that. Open source does not mean the same to everybody across the board. Ask one person, ask 50 different people, you'll get 50 different answers of what open source means. Okay, so that's kind of where I wanted to go with this today. I hope you guys understand my position on it. I'm still going to support TH3D Studios. I'm still going to support Spool 3D and the products that they sell. I'm still going to support you guys in our communities, and that's where I land. I hope that is good for you guys. Brian Baker, remember, providing the source code opens up a new world of issues with warranty. You're absolutely right about that. As you are using the system outside the design usage scenarios, if you compile your own firmware. Exactly. So what does open source mean? Don, open source, let me just pull it up on the computer here.
I'm doing it right now.
Are you? Okay.
Here we go. There it is.
Frank has just put it in the chat, both
Dictionary definition.
the dictionary definition of open
I've
source.
always wanted to do anyways.
Original open source software like Marlin, for instance, is shared around the world, and it's made open to anybody who wants it. GitHub, they have a repository on GitHub that you can get many different branches for many different machines. And every 3D printer out there that you're buying today, whether it be Wanhao, Anycubic, whoever, Hicktop, and I'm not a big fan of Hicktop, and everybody knows that, but, and I'll make that perfectly clear.
It can be in the list. It's okay.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. If you mess with source code without an understanding of it, you can make more problems and void your warranty. Remember that. But open source GPL and open source are totally different. Be aware that open source and GPL are two different things. I encourage you guys to go and look into it a little bit more, get a firmer understanding of what it is. If you back the open source community, then, you know, put your flag where it should go. If you back the company's decision not to share it, are they in violation of the GPL? That still remains to be seen. On the surface, it looks like they are, but again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the legalities of it. All I know is this, is that if I do something in source code to my printers, I have a better understanding of what I'm doing because I know the printer. I've taken time to learn how to code with Arduino, which is at the end of the day C+ anyway, or a watered down version of C+. And if you're not a programmer, then don't worry about it. And I see a lot of questions like this over different forums, like, oh, my printer's printing too fast, like my head's going crazy, and you know, I'm getting a lot of aberrations in my print. That comes down to tuning, and a lot of that tuning can be done right on the front panel of your 3D printer. Be aware of that. There are areas on there that you can manually adjust that don't affect the source code, but they can be stored in memory. Okay, so be aware of that. And one day, I am going to do a complete show on how to go through the menu system of Marlin firmware and make changes without having to dig into source code or having to learn source code or any of that crap. And yes, I said crap. Andrew Lawrence is right. They're not one and the same. GPL and open source are not one and the same. So, what do we got coming up? Monday. What do you guys want to talk about on Monday? What do you want to do on Monday?
You don't already know?
No, we're kind of on the fence. On Wednesday, you guys are going to see the, what am I going to do on Wednesday? Oh yeah, I'm going to show you the Anycubic Photon. Yeah, it kind of sounds like something out of Star Trek, right? Photon. But I'm going to show you the Anycubic Photon. I'm going to ask our one person in studio audience today if they can grab me a piece out of that box right down there, because you guys have asked me. I know we had a little issue with the end of the show on Wednesday. So here is one half of the thirst quencher from Fallout 4. This
It's a Nuka Blaster.
is a Nuka Blaster, a Nuka-Cola Blaster, and this one was done on the Wanhao Duplicator 9. I actually did all the parts on the Duplicator 9, and the funny thing about this, which I thought was actually pretty cool, was that this guy and all the parts, when you put them all together and add a spring, or a couple of springs actually, this becomes, are you ready for it? A Nerf gun. And these files are freely available on Thingiverse. So, yes, Distinctive Impressions, I show 899 on YouTube. Cheryl, yes, it is 899 that we have, so we're 101 people away from breaking 1,000. When we break 1,000, we're giving all this stuff away. But what's the print quality like? Let's go to that upper camera. You guys can see the print quality. Oh, might help if I turned it on.
Looks like the wife's hair dryer.
It does, doesn't it?
Jim McGregor's, this looks like the wife's hair dryer.
So looking at the print, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but this was done at 2.0. It could have been, I could have put more top layers on it, but you know, a little bit of sanding and a little bit of filler, that's going to go right away, and I can print it out. But this does turn into a Nerf gun, so you can see there's a cavity in there. I still have to finish cleaning out all the supports because there was a lot of support in here. And this was actually a really cool print. So you guys are going to be able to see this working at the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo. I'll have it finished. And, oh, one must have left. I saw 900.
They're not watching the show, they're just counting the...
Yeah, they're just counting how many people are on YouTube. How many subscribers do we have on YouTube?
Hey man, watch the Nuka Blast.
So this Nuka Blaster does fire Nerf darts. So we're going to fire some Nerf darts off once we get it finished. So the print quality is very good. There are a couple of caveats about that 3D printer I want to talk about. And you guys know that there were some things that just didn't quite sit right with me. One of the things I noticed is that you have to go into the menu system and tell it to actually print at 100% through the menu system. I'm not sure if that's a firmware fix for them or what it is, but we noticed when we slice the file and we plug it in to the SD card and turn on the, or put on the printer, it will go like super slow, like really super slow. Once we turn up the speed on the printer to 100%, then it sped up and printed out your print in like a couple days instead of a couple of years. I think, so I do like the printer. There are some things that I think they still need to improve upon. That magnetic mat definitely needs to be improved. It doesn't separate quite as easy as you'd think. You really also have to watch when you're doing a bed level, you must do a manual bed level first before you do an auto bed level. Somehow, someone from Wanhouse probably going to see this video and go, you're an idiot, but maybe I am. What I found is you do have to do a manual bed level first, get that paper under there, get it all set on all four corners, then go back and do an auto bed level, and it will store those values. But you have to, A, make sure your hot end is hot and make sure your bed is hot, okay? So bring them up to temperature. PLA temperature is just fine. 250 is perfect for that. Does it print well? Yeah, it prints really well. We're going to show off this Nuka-Cola when it's all done, and I'll show you guys that. Edisher, it's not there anymore. How about the actual D9 is actually out on the floor, on the showroom floor here at Spool 3D. Is there any questions over on Facebook I'm missing?
Nope.
No, any comments I should be aware of?
Lots of stuff over on, lots of comments on YouTube here. Going to look at rain printer soon. Ron M is going to look at rain printer soon. I'm not sure what a rain printer is.
I'm not sure what that is either, but I'd be interested to find out.
Yeah. And then there's Don talking about his day.
Don's talking about his day. Okay.
Thanks, Don. No, you're good, man. Wow, look at us keeping up.
Yeah, we are keeping up. Look at that. Distinctive Impressions, I have talked with them, and Cheryl's in our chat over on YouTube today. We have chatted a little bit, and the website is not quite ready yet. I guess she inspected the new pages for her website and wasn't completely happy, because I know what she wants to do is give us the best visual representation of the t-shirts and hoodies that you will be able to buy from Distinctive Impressions with the First Layer logo on them. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking about that lately, and I think that's amazing. I'm glad that you guys want some merch from this show. The more stuff that people see and the more that you spread around, love it. Ron M, he's talking about resin printers over here. Ron, going to look at a resin printer soon. Ron, before you do that, watch my video on the Photon from Anycubic. It is a resin DLP printer, not an SLA printer. And I talk a little bit about what the differences are. SLA printer, just so you guys know real quick, SLA printer uses a laser. A DLP printer uses digital light. So basically what it's doing is it's taking each layer, and each layer is basically a photograph. And it's just presenting them up through the resin, and that's how it builds the model. Whereas with a laser or a SLA, it literally scans around and traces out the design of your 3D model. So we're going to get a little bit more into that. But so there's only a small change to be made. And Cheryl over at Distinctive Impressions is thinking that the t-shirts and everything, the page should be ready later today. So as soon as we have a link, I'm going to get you guys the link and go and show some love to Distinctive Impressions, because they were really kind to jump on and say, hey, listen, we can make your t-shirts for you. And I think the prices are very good. And I think that post is still up on our Facebook page that's talking about the prices of t-shirts. I know that we are going to expand the line of offerings over time. Right now we are just starting with men and ladies t-shirts and zip and pullover hoodies. So decals, Mike Ramirez, decals. Do you want stickers, Mike? Is that what you're after? Because if you want stickers, we're getting some new stickers made. Distinctive Impressions does decals as well. But we're having some stickers made from our friends next door at Creative Factor, who I get my business cards from and my banners and stuff like that. So, that being said, guys, we've been doing this for about an hour or half an hour now.
Yeah, where did we do it?
Where did we did it here. So, some people I have to thank. I got to thank Cheryl over at Distinctive Impressions for putting in all the hard work at her expense to get a page ready and get some merch out for the First Layer. So thank you very much to Distinctive Impressions. Go over and visit them at distinctiveimpressions.ca. I want to thank, of course, Spool 3D. Without them, we wouldn't have the studio to use, and I would be in my basement looking like a hobo or a homeless person. The studio wouldn't be nearly as cool as this. This is awesome. So listen, if you're looking for printers, filaments, or parts for an existing printer, check out spool3d.ca. Print it right, print it with spool3d.ca. I also want to thank you guys, you know who you are, for being a part of our community. I also want to send a big thank you out to all of our Patreons. We've got a few new Patreons up on the screen now. Thank you to all of our Patreons right now for supporting the show. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a show. I want to thank all of our Buy Me a Coffee people as well. The bricks are in the queue now. We're going to start printing them as soon as the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo ends. Yes, I'm getting old. It's getting grayer.
I just gave you a laughing face.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
As soon as that's over, the bricks are going to start being printed and going out to everybody that is in Buy Me a Coffee and our Patreon. So if you want to support the show on a monthly basis, you can do so for as little as $1. We have some levels there, and I appreciate your help, by the way. If you don't want to do that monthly commitment, first let's tell you where you can go. It's patreon.com/thefirstlayer. So if you want to become part of our Patreon group, we've got some special stuff we're doing just for Patreon people. Then you can go there and be a part of that. If you don't want to be a part of a monthly commitment, and you just want to buy me a coffee, because you know what? I love coffee. And I love what you can put in coffee that nobody knows about. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/thefirstlayer. Today I don't have. Today I don't have.
Whiskey. Just a little bit left.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It is so dry in here. That's the problem with Calgary. We don't have a moisture issue. We have a dry issue.
Always dry.
So you can go to buymeacoffee.com/thefirstlayer, and you know I appreciate that too, and I respond to everybody, even if you're anonymous. I respond to you. Who else do I got to thank? What else am I missing? Oh, listen, hey, if you want to send me something to the show, you want me to feature on the show or show it off or whatever, you can send it to The First Layer, number 230. That's Unit 230, 11929 40th Street, Southeast, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I believe we have the thing down here somewhere.
On your left, T2Z4M8.
T2Z4M8. There you go. Or if you want to send me an email and just, you know, complain to me, that's fine. I read them all. You can send it to richard@thefirstlayer.com. So that concludes our Friday. You guys go out and have yourselves a great weekend. I'm going to go out and have myself a great weekend. My wife and I are going to dinner tomorrow night at a friend's house. And I got more printing to do. A lot more printing and painting to do. To get ready for the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo. So until next time, my friends, remember the first layer is always your foundation to a great print. Until then.